Welcome to our Mindmaxing podcast, and we're grateful to have Bob Melaragni with us, who is Vice President of Enrollment Management at Fisher College. Bob and I have been working together, and Mindmax has been working with Bob for approximately 2 years or so now, and he's a very thoughtful, very passionate person who's been at Fisher a long time and is working to make Fisher an important and continuing relevant school within the Boston proper area. I want to welcome Bob here and ask Bob, several things in our Mindmaxing podcast right now. So welcome, Bob, and I'm glad you're here. And this has been a heck of a year. 2020 has been, I'll say, interesting for all of us in many different ways. But like to hear your thoughts on some of your reflections from 2020.
Sure, great. Thank you, Lee, and thank you for the opportunity to be part of your podcast. It has been a pleasure working with you and your colleagues at Mindmax over the last couple of years. As you mentioned earlier, I've had the pleasure of working at Fisher for close to 20 years. So I've seen a lot of changes, not only in the industry of higher education, but here at our institution on Beacon Street in Boston. Fisher College was founded in 1903 as a business course, sort of door-to-door skills enhancement type of institution with a very strong mission to elevate particularly immigrants in the Winter Hill section of Somerville's lives in educational trajectory into the workforce. So I'm continuing to be very proud and honored to work at Fisher as we continue to add new degrees, both at the baccalaureate and master's degree levels. This prior year, has been a good one, a challenging one, but a good one here at Fisher. We had the opportunity to work with our regional accreditor, NECHI, for our 10-year reaccreditation, and we actually did that virtually. So that was new to NECHI and that was new to Fisher. While pivoting both a lot of our admissions and recruitment activities, along with the start of the fall semester, offering about 50% of our traditional, undergraduate Boston-based courses online. So, questions about, how do we reach out to students and families to talk about, what we're doing and how we're doing it. The safety, safety has never been as important as it has been this year with COVID. What's going on with testing, how are you social distancing students and faculty and staff while on campus? How will the institution respond if a student does become infected with the COVID? So, a lot of these challenges and messaging that went out, both in a formal and, informal social media type of platform, were crafted quickly, but I would say very effectively. As we heard back from students and families, the way that we were messaging in our cadence was right on with their expectations and allowed us to have a very healthy new student and returning student class here at Fisher during the fall 2020 semester.
So I think what you brought up in terms of communication, often and helpful and transparent, I think it's really important, Bob. I think everybody's been going through some level of anxiety /fear /trepidation or just, confusion throughout this year. What kinds of communications or messages, have been working for you? Because I know you've been successful with that. So what are some messages that have really connected with parents or with families or with students?
Sure. I think first and foremost, you as a student and parent as a support system have options, when you choose Fisher College. We're not just on-ground instruction. We're not just online instruction. You have the opportunity to take some of your courses, here on Beacon Street in Boston, some wholly entirely online, and some hybrid courses where, you can come to the city, 1 or 2 times a week and then finish your course load online. So, many options for different people, and, you need to make the decision of how you want your education, during these unprecedented times. So, being able to deliver that message that we're many things to many people, and that, all methods of education here and delivery are quality. Fisher College was one of the first institutions nationally to offer online courses back in the 90s. So this online instruction wasn't something new to us. Some of our competitors, had a few short weeks, to pivot their on-ground instruction to online. We've been doing it, like I said, for over 20, 25 years. So it was nothing new to us, utilizing the online Blackboard platform, and having professors and students very comfortable with online learning. No doubt made us successful here at Fisher in the fall. So again, just being able to reassure students and families that online instruction is nothing new here at Fisher. We're comfortable with it and we can deliver it well, allowed us to maximize enrollments here at the institution.
I think that's a great point, Bob. And I actually point to Fisher and other schools that have been delivering online education for many years. And I agree with you. Those who have been doing that for years know how to deliver good instruction and a good educational experience. Those who had to do a fire drill to jump on Zoom, I think had even a greater challenge. So, given that we've had almost a full year of COVID impacted and other factors in higher ed, it's not just COVID that's been impacting higher ed. There was life before COVID. If you think about higher ed now or Fisher now in relationship to the current environment, what are some of your thoughts about how you're looking to succeed going forward, or just thoughts of where you think higher ed is going in the short term in terms of this coming semester or in terms of this coming year?
Sure. That's a great question, Lee. And prior to the pandemic, Fisher was positioning itself for success. Fisher is a very unique institution that's in an urban environment, big city, but has an enrollment of under 1,000 traditional students, under 1,500 collectively. So for the student and family that's looking for a private institution, not for profit, specifically in Boston, Fisher's the choice. So I think moving forward, when we get past this time that we call the pandemic, Fisher will continue to be strong and be that destination institution. Again, not for all students, but those students that are looking to study in a small, intimate setting, but not sacrifice, secondary campus location of a city like Boston. So, that unique fit for a student that wants that personalized attention in the academic forum, but does not want to sacrifice, internship locations, steps away, first job opportunities, and everything else a city like Boston, provides to students.
Great. And then if we look further out, if we're looking out to say, fiscal 2022 or beyond, where do you see, things changing? I'll call it post-pandemic, or it may not, who knows? We don't know when post actually pandemic is going to happen, but separate of even thinking about the pandemic, but just where do you see things heading from a higher ed standpoint and or from a Fisher standpoint in I'll call it a longer term view?
Sure. Yeah, I think on the front end, Lee, recruitment will change. I think there'll be more virtual activities and initiatives happening outside of the traditional in-person high school visit or in-person college fair with 300 or 400 institutions. I think some of that stuff will happen, but to a lower scale. I think there'll be more digital marketing. There'll be more outreach to students in an electronic fashion. And I think instruction, will continue to be, in a blended format. I think, with less on-campus courses, so pre-pandemic, course load of 4 or 5 classes, on campus, brick and mortar, compared to maybe 1 or 2 free, and then the rest of the full-time course load being online. And potentially some cost savings, that follow that because of less overhead that's involved with, teaching students, in person on campus. So I think more of again, a leaner model at a more affordable cost is the way that the industry is moving in the future.
I think one, you brought me back to, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago, 35 years ago, when I was standing at one of those tables at a college fair. That was, I spent a lot of time in gymnasiums, standing at those tables and talking to families and so forth, and handing out literature and so forth. But that's a blast from the past. And I don't know if we'll see those again. That'll be very interesting. But I think your comment about the augmentation of a face-to-face experience with purposeful online augmentation, whether it's hybrid, whether it's asynchronous combined with synchronous and so forth. I think that's a really interesting thought, and I do think that'll expand some schools' capacity because they won't rely on the facilities, because they won't need to have the facilities for everyone all the time. So I think there's going to be a lot of flexibility as a result of that. I think that's a really good point. So to close today, Bob, any closing thoughts or general reflections that you have just around the state of things? And I'll leave that as open, as broad as you'd like to take that.
Sure. Thank you, Lee. No, I believe, higher ed, continues to be a great industry, to work in and to study in, particularly here in the United States. I think, there are brighter days ahead, for students and faculty and staff at colleges and universities nationwide. With the change in the federal administration, I believe that, we'll see an influx of international students with some pent-up demand. The last several months because of student visa restrictions. I do believe that students will continue to have a strong thirst for higher education and continue to be very interested to study at institutions that are doing it and doing it right at an affordable cost. So being able to deliver your mission, regardless of what that is, if it's a career institute, if it's a research institution, or anywhere in between. But being able to, provide students with, the skills that they need to succeed after graduation is going to continue to be very important to drive our economy here in the United States for many years to come. So, for students and families looking for institutions like Fisher, unfortunately, there'll be less and less of them, on the back end of this pandemic. As they say, only the strong survive. But we, continue to work with partners like Mindmax, get the word out, about Fisher College and all of our, great offerings that, really do translate into, meaningful careers for students who are looking, to succeed through education.
Well, great. I want to thank you, Bob. I really appreciate your time. This is a very, as you said, unprecedented time, and I think all of us are looking forward to getting through this, however we get through this, and hopefully learn from it and be better as a result of it. So I want to thank you, Bob, Fisher College, and wish you the very best in this upcoming year.
Great. Thank you, Lee.